Meet Tony Tan, a Singaporean who moved to Thailand 14 years ago. In his youth, he was involved in the criminal world, used drugs and served 2 sentences in Singapore's prisons. But Tony managed to turn his life around. He earned a PhD in philosophy and founded 2 retreat centers to help addicts and people with mental health issues. He shared the biggest differences between life in Singapore and Thailand, what foreigners should never do to Thai people, and the main secret behind the doors of one of the strictest prisons in the world. I'm Chernov, your insider to expat life. Pai Kantar.
When I first get to Chiang Mai for my work, I fall in love with this place. The place is huge. In Singapore, you drive from Tampines to Jurong, 30 minutes, 40 minutes max.
Max, yeah.
Yeah, okay, you drive slow. And if you were to get back, it's about 1.5 hours. Here, I can make one big round around Chiang Mai. It will take me at least 6 to 7 hours. Yeah, if I go into much a slower drive and stop and look at things, it will take me 2 to 3 days.
And it's not because of traffic, it's because of the
land size.
The land size.
So I think the space in where I live in Thailand really entices me, really attracts me, you know. So I love that big space. I have 2 big dogs, Labrador, very big dogs, and I can't afford a house with space, a big garden for those 2 dogs. I'm a multi-millionaire in Singapore. Yeah. So one of it is the space and the cost of living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why Chiang Mai, not Bangkok, not somewhere else?
To me, Bangkok is very similar to Singapore. Building, traffic, that doesn't attract me. Chiang Mai, I think, is also the cool weather, the people, the culture, the space is important for me.
Yeah. So when you back from the trip and you're here in Chiang Mai airport, for you it's like what? Oh, I'm finally home. Or
it's always.
What's the?
I feel comfortable being back in Chiang Mai.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say this is I feel at ease.
Yeah.
It's like, I can take a rest. Yeah, I think the vibe, the whole feeling about Chiang Mai is much slower pace.
Yeah. So you have peace of mind here. Yeah.
Yes.
What's the biggest cultural differences for you as Singaporean communicating with Thai?
The biggest culture difference is the aspect of time. Okay. So in Singapore, we are very efficient. So when we do something, we get it done. Here, we have a saying, you have to respect the Thai time, meaning their way of dealing with things, getting things done. It can be a bit slower, yeah, because the people here tend to be, doing things at a slower pace. But that is the beauty of their culture.
Yeah.
You know, they are not always rushing.
There is a saying like scolding in Singapore. People say like the Singaporean word. They scold me, they scold him. What I heard about Thailand, like I have few people running businesses here. If you try to scold your staff, like Thai staff, the next day they will just not come to work again.
It's very common.
Is it true?
Yeah, so the people here, you need to be much more gentle. They are not used to harsh tone, loud voices, quite different from Singapore culture.
Yeah.
You have to be much more gentle when talking to them. Yeah. Sometimes they can misinterpret when we are a bit harsh, as we are come across to them as very unfriendly, demanding. So there's a culture here that you need to adjust.
Living in Thailand, what's your view on Singapore? Where country is going?
The way I look at, I've been in Thailand for 15 years now, coming to 14 plus years. I've been in Thailand since March 2011. I always say I'm a tourist in Singapore. Even though I'm from Singapore. Yeah. It's a country that is going forward. It's always moving forward. It cannot slow down. Okay. Why I say that, this country has developed so much. It's a very safe country, but the price for that safety, that development of the country, the modernization, the people living there have to pay a price. The cost of living has been very high. A day, easily you can spend about $30 to $50 Singapore dollars. Whereas here, I spend about $5 per day. Yeah. So the cost of living is definitely much lower. So in Singapore, I would say, where is it heading? Sad to say, I would say the standard of living is going to get higher and more challenging. Yeah, so people will continue to struggle.
And in terms of like, let's say countries, as you said, like countries cleaning up some criminal activities and stuff. Overall, like where it's going, it's the right direction I'm super interested because like you're Singaporean, but you're not in Singapore for almost 15 years. So you have this helicopter view. You're not stuck in the bubble, like being in the country only. You know, you're outside.
I would say Singapore is a safe country to live in, but there's a price to pay. Where is it heading? I'm quite worried. In fact, I would say I will probably never able to get back to Singapore if the cost of living keep continuously going up. It's a struggle, you know. I've been talking to my parents. I've been supporting them monthly for some financially to get them through. My parents are 69 and my dad is 71. They are still working.
Oh, still working.
Yeah. Partly they can't afford to stop. Even though their apartment, their HDB, they don't have a car, it's too old to drive. The HDB is all paid off, they don't have much burden, but the cost of living they need to get through, they can't stop working, you know. Another concern is the medical treatment is getting very high. So that is actually a concern, you see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not enough for them, like CPF and all the savings, not enough to
we are
survive.
afraid it might not be enough.
They're
That is always a concern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it's always also like the pressure? So people are pressured in Singapore, like mentally. Yeah.
You know, there's a saying, when you wake up in Singapore, the moment your eyes open is the moment that you need to start spending money. Yeah, there are, you know, utility bill, transport, you know, food, going out, all these are adding up, you see. So I'm quite worrying whether Singapore is going to be livable in another 10 years' time. Yeah.
What's the feeling when you're in Changi, you arrived and like you go out from the airport, like what's your thoughts, what's your feelings?
I must say I'm back to civilization. I'm back to modern day.
Yeah.
You know, I think everyone knows right from the moment you get off your seat, out of the plane, to clear the immigration, to even get into a taxi or Grab car, is less
Very
than
smooth.
5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, very smooth.
It's smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even going out of Singapore, you don't even need a passport. I can never see that in any other country. Definitely not in Thailand.
Yeah.
If a busy day, I may take about 40 minutes to clear the immigration.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say that is the price you have to pay being in Singapore. It's very efficient. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one of your centers here, right?
Yeah.
You have how many? 2 or 3?
We have another Chinese rehab. So
Yeah.
we deal with the China market with
Yeah.
Chinese-speaking clients.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is it's also in Chiang Mai, but in another facility. We are setting up an autism rehab. Yeah, in Bangkok area. Yeah, so it's outside of Bangkok. So that one is coming up end of the year. So we have different things that we are doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but mostly with mental health, addiction work that
Yeah.
we're doing. The autism rehab is much more specialized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. You used drugs, yeah? You did drugs when you were like starting the teenage years?
Teenage, yeah.
Yeah.
The age of 14, I started.
And then, because for Singapore, people say, oh, there are no drugs in Singapore, but apparently there are some, yeah?
Yes.
Is it like, you think it's common, it was common, or it's still common in Singapore?
I would say drugs is common everywhere. It's the only thing that government cannot fully control. So as long as there are the drug abuse situation will still be present anywhere, including Singapore.
And drugs are coming from where?
I would say coming from Malaysia, Indonesia, by sea as well.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah, okay. Especially with the new synthetic drugs. A lot of them, they are hand carried into Singapore.
Yeah.
Smuggled into Singapore. I would say Singapore is still highly regulated, controlled.
Yeah.
The system is very strict. So it makes that importing drugs into Singapore much more challenging. Yeah, but there are still people who take the risk. Why? The sales, the money you get from selling drugs is lucrative, is high.
Yeah.
Because it's so highly regulated, police are catching you, and the penalty for selling drugs is high, even to the point of death penalty.
Yeah.
But there are still people who are doing it.
Yeah.
In Asia, I would say drugs, anything that to do with drugs, the penalty, the consequences are much more heavier as compared to the West, like UK, US, they are more lenient towards user.
Yeah.
Whereas in Singapore, I'm not sure you know about this. If you are Singaporeans, It doesn't matter you use drugs in Singapore or outside Singapore. As long as you are tested positive, you are considered consuming drugs, you will be penalized for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even for PRs.
Even for, yes.
Yeah. So basically, if you did drugs and like
Yes, and you are caught. That's
in
it.
Bangkok or in Amsterdam, and you're
Yes.
back to Singapore, you got caught and
That's
tested.
why they're very strict with it. Yeah.
So people not only from Chiang Mai, not only from Thailand come here. So they come from different places. They know there is a rehab in Chiang Mai.
Yes.
They can fly from Malaysia,
Yeah,
from
like
Singapore.
say our clients mostly come from Australia, UK, Amsterdam, Berlin, Munich. We also have quite a number of clients coming from Canada as well as US. Yeah. Why? Partly the treatment costs are escalating over there, and the period of waiting to get into treatment are longer. So most of them are willing to pay themselves to come over to Thailand. I mean, look at this, 90 days with us is almost a month of treatment back home. So they get the different quality and time as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many people here?
We can take up to
for
16 clients.
Yeah, 16 clients.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything we do in life requires money, and one of the best ways to earn it is by starting your own business. If you ever thought about launching one, let me tell you about Awesome. And yeah, that's the company name. Sounds kind of bold, but this business platform really has a lot of advantages. First, it's a tool that gives financial clarity. And how do they do it? With expert accountants and super easy software, it's all in one place. It's perfect for both locals and foreigners in Singapore, even if you want to start a company remotely. You can see all your cash flow, every transaction, even cancellations. And the reports are ready to go too, so you can make important decisions faster, which is super cool. And when you use Awesome, all the documents are kept in one place, so it's easy to find whatever you need whenever you need it. Over 15,000 entrepreneurs are already building their businesses with Awesome, and you can start yours today too. Click the link in description and let the professionals help you.
So what's the story? You ended up being in prison, yeah, at some point.
My first imprisonment was when I was 24. Okay. So in Singapore, we do national service. So that was the period I did not use because they were checking very strict regularly.
Yeah.
So after I complete my national service, I start using quite heavily again. I was hanging out with friends, we were using all days. Those times in the year early 2000, where party drugs like ecstasy, meth, ice, ketamine was very popular. So we used it a lot. So my first incarceration was in year 2000 when I was 24.
Yeah.
It was a 1-year sentence. Yeah. So I went in, served 8 months, I'm out. The day I am released, the day I relapsed using again. Yeah. So it was a very unfortunate thing. I relapsed on the day I was released. The first one I was in this place is a new prison for short-term sentence.
It's not Changi prison.
No, but the second incarceration was at Changi prison.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first one was a short-term jail for less than a year. We were all at the same place. I remember it was about 8 people in the same room. You know, small room is 8 people, big room is up to 20. So that is a 8-month sentence. Time passed by pretty fast.
Yeah. Who was the rest? Like the rest 7 people?
They are mixture like small crime, fighting, stealing, not heavy sentence because that prison is used for light sentences.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything less than a year, you end up in that prison.
Was it difficult for you?
I would say the first sentence was pretty fun. Time passed by easily, you know.
Yeah.
I get to know people, get to have more connection with drugs, with people who doing crime. Yeah. So my network of using actually expanded during the first time. Yeah.
Yeah. And then how harsh is it? Do you like have fights or conflicts with the other inmates?
There are fights, there are brushes, there are arguments. It's part and parcel of being in that world. It's unavoidable, but I try to protect myself, I try to be friendly. You know, I just want to serve my time and get out of prison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would be your advice, I don't know, for someone who ended up in this situation, like how to behave?
I would say do not be like me. I end up socializing for the wrong thing. Yeah. You know, But it's good for you to reflect, understand what got you in that place. And that was actually when I got into my second incarceration. So my first prison was 24.
Yeah.
When I was 24, my second was when I was 26. That time I was sentenced to 3 years, 9 months, almost 4 year sentence. Yeah, and that really shaped me up a lot. And I get to reflect a lot more. Because it's a longer sentence, the people that I met, we are talking about 5, 6, up to 20 years, 40 years. So that really is an eye-opener for me. I could get away. Lo and behold, 2 years later, I'm back in prison and serving a 3 years plus sentence. That really waked me up to reflect on my life a lot.
Yeah.
And that's also the time when I got a proper counseling in prison. You know, that helped me to think through my issue, to reflect on what got me to this point. So this is the gym area. So this is where we exercise. Yeah.
So it's part of the program, yeah?
Yes, it's part of their program, fitness program.
Yeah.
It's compulsory. They all have to attend. So we have different like CrossFit, HIIT, high intensity, circuit training. We have body weight. We have Muay Thai, Thai boxing.
Yeah.
Okay, we have casual exercise like badminton over here.
What if people like don't want to obey or don't want to listen to you or to your stuff? Like,
So what
I guess
we
it
do
happens.
here, okay, for clients that have difficulty adjusting,
Yeah.
usually they have a grace period where we're transiting them, but we use a lot of community-based approach. So we have buddy for them. So the buddy will encourage them to come and exercise.
Yeah.
That will help to break their resistance, you see. Yeah.
And the body is probably someone who already
Been
done,
here for a while.
done it, yeah.
Yeah, they are here for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They have settled down into treatment. So they will be assigned a new clients to take care, to buddy up. That most of our programs here are group therapy.
Group therapy.
Yes.
Have you watched this video on YouTube about Changi prison, the famous one that is it kind of similar? Like the conditions are actually that harsh and everything around it?
I would say there's always a stereotype like this prison warder, they are not friendly.
Yeah.
I would say times are quite different. I served my second sentence in 2002. I would say the guards are more educated, are not like the previous earliest imprisonment. They are more friendly, they are more supportive. They will talk to us and not encourage us like, oh, is this a life that you want to live? You perhaps need to change. I was in the batch that was actually transferred from the old Changi prison to the Cluster A at that time.
What's that?
Cluster A, okay, so prison now is built in like a block of building, okay? They have Cluster A, Cluster B, Cluster C, and Cluster D. So I was the first batch that transferred from the old Changi prison to the actual new prison. Yeah. So that time it was very modern, very clean. Everything is electronic. The warders are trained. They are much more, supportive.
Supportive.
Different. Yeah.
Oh wow.
I didn't went through the old days, you know, where they will beat up prisoner, they will threaten them, they will shout at them. My time, I can say I'm quite fortunate to not to have to go through all those.
Yeah.
Yeah. But don't get me wrong, prison are still strict. They need to maintain certain order and discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually went back to prison years later in my recovery to be a volunteer, to counsel with them. I worked for NGO at that time. They sent us in to work with the prisoner. I would say things today have been changed, very much different from the old days. It was even better than my time. Yeah.
So the conditions, as I understand, the conditions of you being in prison in Singapore is quite harsh. So you sleep you sleep on the floor or you sleep on the...
Yeah, we sleep on the floor with a straw mat. We got the bare minimum. Three sets of clothing, a box, a straw mat, 2 blankets is what you need.
Yeah.
Yeah. Food was adequate. I won't say it's the nicest food, but it have enough calories and nutritious to keep you going.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I was at the healthiest when I was in prison. Yeah.
Yeah, because you didn't do drugs, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. My weight was about 50 kilo at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
50.
50.
Wow.
Now I'm 100.
Some people would argue it's too harsh. The conditions are too much pressure. compared to, let's say, Norwegian approach, when it's basically like a hotel. So for you, do you think it's needs to be that harsh, or it needs to be like more like a hotel, like in Scandinavia?
I would say the prison sentence and the treatment are adequate. If you don't get into trouble like fighting in prison, I would say you can survive the prison system. It's not the best. You're not there for luxuries. You are there to serve your sentence. So the bare minimum is provided. As compared to the West, like Norway or other country where they are more humane, you get to go out. I would say Singapore system is pretty different. Perhaps they are still not at that level. I think they are introducing something called halfway house now. That means they allow people to exit prison a few years earlier to integrate into the society. They get to have a job, but they still come back to the center to stay. So the center is still under the prison system. So they are introducing it, they are trying. So I can see things are improving. But are we there? No, it's still a far way. Can it be improved? There are always room for improvement. Don't forget, I was serving my sentence 21 years ago. Things are very different.
A long time ago.
This channel is now my full-time job. But before, I worked as an engineer, brand manager, I ran a media agency. But YouTube is actually my dream job. Small team, big profits, everything is done remotely, and it aligns with my passions and values. So some of you might be also thinking to start a YouTube channel for, let's say, some additional passive or semi-passive income. So I made a video lesson for you where I break down my 5-step strategy, which helped me to grow this channel to almost 350,000 subscribers within just 2 years. I also used the same one to grow my other channel, different language, different niche, to 300,000 subscribers, and I always use the same strategy when I help my students and clients to grow their channels. I also explained how this blueprint can help you build a semi-passive income stream of at least $10,000 a month. So I'll leave a link in description, click it and grab it if it's still available.
So this is one of the therapy room.
Brain training room.
Right.
So
this is for neurofeedback, where we work with them. So this is one of the therapy room that we have.
So here, what do you do here?
We will do the neurofeedback, so we will wire them up with wire and help to reprogram their brain. So we teach the brain how to react in a certain way.
So what's the daily routine in Changi prison?
We wake up, if I'm not wrong, I can still, it's about 21 years since I left. I think 7 o'clock is lights on. They will open the light. So you are supposed, we live in a 4-man cell. That means one cell, there are 4 people. So you're supposed to clean up, wash up. You have to take turns to use the toilet, wash up. And then 7:30, you will have a morning master. That means they will count you. So the warders will come and open the small little window and see if there are the 4 people inside. And then after that, you will have breakfast. 8 o'clock, you need to come out for work. So if you've been there a while, you get some privileges, like you get to work, you have some income, you can buy snack in prison.
You can buy snack? How you get money from?
So from your work, there are some income. So you work half a day, like laundry, washing clothes of other inmates. You work in the kitchen. There are also companies that like printing cards and different type of work. So you work half a day, and half a day is a rest time. So for the half day work, every week you get about $2 plus to $3. So you get about $6. Half, 50% goes to your saving. 50% you can use it to buy snack in prison. So they have a list of things you can buy. So you will write down and you will submit every Monday, if I'm not wrong, you get your item.
And the saving, you can get the saving back when you are
discharged from prison. So it's not a lot, but it's enough. If you've been there for 2-3 years, you get like $100 odd. When you leave prison.
Okay, so do you have like some free time?
Yes, afternoon. If you are in the morning shift, afternoon is a free time. If you are afternoon shift, morning is, we call it the yak time. So you get to a big basketball court, you can play basketball, super duck crawl, or you can jog around the place.
And then you have dinner, and then off to sleep.
Yeah, and then you have dinner inside your room, and then you will after that clean up the room. At night, usually we have library in the prison. We'll get some books to read. Lights off at 8 o'clock.
Oh, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Very early.
Yeah, we sleep early and we wake up early. Yeah.
And then you do what? Can you like chat with your?
We can chat, but not too loud. We have to keep the volume lower.
What's the success rate when they out of the rehab?
Okay, I would say our success rate is based on within 6 months to 12 months. Do they go back to the old lifestyle?
Yeah.
Did they able to maintain the change? So far, our clients, based on the last 3 years data that we collect, 85% has been able to maintain the change, you see.
Yeah, 85%.
85%, yeah. So it's quite a good result in our view. This is a family room, a group room we use for family small group therapy. Yeah. So that device is actually a virtual reality test set that we use, we imported. So we can play, let's say if you've been to war, we will play some scenes from the war, and we can test your heart rate to see how you respond. So we can desensitize that for you. Yeah.
Have you had someone from the war?
We do have a lot of veterans coming.
Oh, a lot.
Yes, because one of our program is PTSD, trauma.
Yeah.
So we do have quite a number of clients.
From the US?
From Canada, US.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the lowest moment? You remember?
The lowest moment was when my ex-wife divorced me in prison. So I have to appear in court to receive the sentence. I still remember this, that as a prisoner, we have no right, you know. So whatever is sentenced, we have to accept that. And that really got me to thinking, I thought I was a smart guy.
Yeah.
But actually, if I were to end up in prison, I wasn't that smart at all. So that was actually the tipping point, as well as my parents. They were quite old at that time, but they had to come and visit me. So the visitation is quite long. You have to queue up for 2 to 3 hours to see us for about 30 minutes. And then they had to make all the way back to their home, another 2 hours of travel. So it's basically one visit will take up their whole day. And they have to stop work just to come and get me some books and get to see me. Yeah, so I think seeing them in that difficult situation, I think I owe it to them, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think with the counseling, with the divorce, losing my child, as well as my parents in that situation, I think that was my tipping point for me to change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Losing your child.
Yeah. I have from my first marriage, I have a child at that time. Yeah. I have to give up the custody. You see.
Yeah. Now can you see your child?
My ex-wife doesn't allow me to see him.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm not wrong, he was born in year 2000. He should be 24 this year. Yeah.
So no chance for you to
I don't blame them, to be honest.
Yeah.
Given my past behavior, I think what she did was to protect the child was the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much money you invested or spent here? Is it like your money or investors' money?
A lot will be my, I have 50% investment in this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in terms of US dollar, it's about, the whole setup is about $150,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Not too bad. Yeah, very affordable.
Okay. In Singapore, it would be like 10x or 20x.
2 to 3 million.
Oh.
Yeah. The rental is going to be a killer back home.
Yeah. Running business in Thailand now, having these skills to be in tough environment, criminal environment, prison environment, does it help you to, I think, succeed in business?
I would say my past definitely has a big part to play in what I do today. I run a rehab center that work with people who have mental health, with addiction. I would say when I look at my clients, I have a different glasses perspective. I can understand what is it like for them going through their most difficult time. You know, mind you, when I was using drugs, I was homeless. I was crashing in people's house from one home to another.
Yeah.
You know, I was always on the wrong side of the law. So for me, when I look at my clients today, I could see the pain, the struggle they are going through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you think you changed, like when you entered prison first time and then when you you served your, like, when you were out of prison, like how your personality changed?
I always say the prison was a turning point in my life.
Yeah.
You know, otherwise I will go for destruction. With my drug use at that time, I would say either I will end up dying by overdosing,
Yeah.
or I will end up in prison again with a long-term sentence, like 7 to 10 years perhaps, and my whole life will have gone. So the second incarceration was like, I call it a sheep making a sharp turn, a turning point.
Yeah.
So I managed to turn it around and headed in the right direction.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have gone for destruction. So this is the meditation room.
Nice. Meditation is part of the process, yeah.
Yes, it's a big part of our
Big part,
program.
yeah.
Yeah, and that is also help with the way we respond to situation in life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you meditate yourself?
I do a lot.
You do a lot?
Yes, I
Oh.
do twice a day.
Twice a day?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's the biggest changes you see in your life after you started meditating?
I would say, okay, there are days where I'm really stressed and I don't have time to do my meditation.
Yeah.
I would say my sleep are affected. I have very difficulty sleeping or getting a quality sleep.
Yeah.
So meditation does help me to be more calmer, have more clarity. Yeah, I learn to let things go much easier. Yeah, letting things go is also part of that acceptance process. I accept whatever will be, will be.
So you've been in the very low points in your life and you were in prison. Like, what do you think, like, seeing that life, what do you think the biggest misconceptions about Singapore or life in Singapore, or maybe in like how prison life is in Singapore, for people who don't understand things, who have shallow view of Singapore, or maybe some foreigners who come to Singapore for a year or something? Like, what's the biggest misconception? What people don't get about the country?
Okay, I think the biggest conception is Singapore doesn't have drugs.
Yeah, that's what people say, yeah.
Yes, but the fact is there are still crime. It's just that it's not as prevalent as 20 years ago. It's much more controlled nowadays. And also another thing, stigma I would call it is addicts cannot change. Okay, that is something I always advocate. I say people do change. Yeah, they do have the ability to change when they are given the right help and the right approach, they can change. I always say I am a very good example.
Yeah.
I have served a total of 4 years, 9 months of prison sentence. If you were to consider me, I'm an outcast of the society. You know, when I was in prison, I only completed my O-level. But today I have a doctorate. I'm a doctor in counseling psychology. So I think if given the right help, the right approach, if I can change, everyone can change. That is my belief.
Hey, I've launched this Telegram channel where I'll be sharing insights from my guests, travel tips around Asia, and also my thoughts about YouTube, marketing, business, and even life. It will be cozy, personal, and free of charge. So join me, just scan this QR code on the screen or click the link in description, and I'll see you there. The tattoos is from that time?
For my old days.
From my old days. What does it mean?
It's a Japanese tattoo. It's a guardian.
Guardian.
Yeah. So this is the devil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had it. What age were you when you had it?
21?
21.
Yeah, 21. 21, 22, around that age. After
Yeah.
army. Yeah.
So what does it mean? The guardian is like you're not.
So it's one of the, in the triad world,
Yeah.
you need to have a guardian, you know. There are these north, south, east, west. We believe there's a deity, a guardian in every corner. So
Yeah.
you will have one that is you relates to and you put it on your body. And these are the devils, you know, we are fearless, we are the dark side of the world.
Dark side of the world.
Yeah. It's just that now I'm on the different side. I don't show them anymore.
Yeah. Do you miss the old days?
I have no regret about my drug use. It's not that I'm trying to glorify it, but
Yeah.
it taught me a lot of things.
Yes.
It taught me about consequences. It taught me about people. It taught me about differentiating good and bad. Unfortunately, I did drugs. I had to pay the consequences. I'm willing to take up for it. So I would say I have no regret doing it. I pay the price, of course. That is my consequences. And then I would say the best time of my life is during at the halfway house. where I really learned a lot. I learned to be disciplined. I learned to what is teamwork. I learned to live together with people. Some I like, some I don't like. So I learned through changing my life over there.
How's your attitude towards people overall changed?
I think changes are not easy, especially for us coming from a criminal background, drug use background. We have a certain ego. That will be quite challenging. But I always say there's a will, there's a way. If you want to change, I always believe you will find a way to change, no matter how hard. Like for me, when I left halfway house, I actually went back to school. I haven't really reconciled with my family at that time.
Yeah.
You know, we talk to each other. They know that I was doing well. I stopped drug use. So I was at the halfway house, the shelter for 18 months, 1.5 years. And then after that, I complete my program. I went out to work. I was renting a house. So I have to work full-time and study part-time, nights class. So it was really difficult because after a day of work, you're tired, but I have to push myself. So I would say what I learned at the halfway house actually given me that ability to survive that period where I was working full-time and study at night, you see. Yeah. If anyone out there you know need help, anyone that you think that they in need of help, contact. There are help available.
Yeah.
Okay. We do give out support as well for people who can't get treatment. Yeah. We have a policy here. Every 10 clients we intake, 1 client will be given away free to help people who really need help. So we do help with people who have self-harm, even suicidal, we can work with them. So I just want to let people know, wherever you're going through, you're not alone. You just need to reach out and get the help that you need.
What's your main principles in life overall that you obtained through the years of your life?
I would say my philosophy or the way that I live my life is do right, have integrity, and most important, do the best you can in whatever I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I try to keep it simple. I try not to commit crime like the old days. No, so doing right is important to me. Have integrity, meaning to me is keep doing what I need to do to keep my life on path. Yeah. And do it to the best of my ability.
Yeah. What's the meaning of life for you?
Meaning of life to me. I would say I will use a candle.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a candle with a light on, and I will use my life to light up another person's life. So I can bring light into their world. So how many I can light, I do not know, but I will do the best I can. That's why in my work, I also believe in training the next generation of therapists, psychologists in the work we are doing, so we can pass the skill to them. Yeah. I only have a pair of hands, I can save the world. But if I can train more people, recruit more people, I got more hands to help me in the work I do. So I think through that, the world can slowly become a better place. Yeah. I can't save the whole world, but I can save the world around me.